Can everyone hear me fine? Hi, everybody. Welcome to Readiness 7-step methodology for your Windows 10 migration. We all motivated? Is this going to be a fun crowd? Are we going to be fun? We're not sleeping yet? Who knows what I have here? Right hand? Windows 10. Windows 10. You guys followed the keynote. You heard the world's going to change. We don't need to do inventories anymore. We don't need to do a whole bunch of things. Do we believe all of that? Yeah? No? Okay, well, we're on that same side. So let's have some fun first before we get kicked off. Everybody's up for that? I need a lucky candidate. Isabel, can you join me? So by the way, we've got Jürgen also assisting us. So just sit back, relax, and let us take you through our 7 steps. Windows 10.
Yeah.
Come on up here, dear. Do you trust me? Do you trust me? Do you trust me? Huh? You can trust me. Microsoft said we can trust them this morning. You can trust me. I'm from the United States, but not Volkswagen, so you can trust me. So, do us a favor. Hold this Windows 10 far from you. Yeah, good? You still trust me? No?
No.
Now you'll trust me. Can you see? You still trust me, right? Come on, let's bring it a little closer. Stand real still. Don't move, Isabella. Don't move. Unless everybody starts screaming, then you can take off your blind and we'll all move. Ah! Take off your blind. Do you still trust me? So, what did we just do besides scare the shit out of her? She wasn't ready for this. She didn't know. This was a surprise, just like this was all a surprise for me. Thank you. How about a big hand for Isabella? Thank you. Yeah. Windows 10. Do you want to go through your upcoming migration with blinds on and see what happens and trust us? Whoever us might be, or do you want to be prepared for it? So Readiness has developed and proven a 7-step methodology that will get you through your migration much easier. I can lose this, right? So who's getting ready to go to Windows 10? Started or contemplating it? A few? Do we have a clear strategy? Are we clear what we have to do? Do we know what the pain points are going to be? Do we know how to get rid of those pain points? Do we know how to find those pain points? Yes? No? A whole lot of maybes? Who's 100% sure their migration's going to go super? I see somebody way in the back. Okay? Because you're not going to migrate to Windows 10. Oh, you already have. Okay, well, that was a safe answer then. Okay, fine. We're going to walk you through some steps to get you there. We know getting to a new OS is going to be a difficult process. It's made sound very easy, but we all know, and if you've done it, it's not easy. There's a lot of things that you've got to take into mind. Go ahead. So who's done migrations in the past 5 years? Probably everybody, because nearly every 5 years we get stuck doing that. Do you have a good list of all your lessons learned? Have you picked up some things that you did wrong? Were you able to do all of those better in the next one? We'll see, but that's what you have to at least do to prepare for it. Okay, so let's walk through the way RayNet sees the seven-step methodology being played out. Go ahead, Jörg. We've developed a hierarchy process. It's 7 steps, and if you follow these 7 steps, your migration will run much smoother, and the 7 steps have been set up to where you can find your own entry point. It's not an all or nothing. As we go through it, you're going to see that you can pick out where you want to start in the 7-step method. So the first thing we have to do, and like I said, keep in mind, you can pick out where you find yourself in your organization fitting. We need to discover what your machines are out there. What devices do I have? What assets do I have? Maybe you already know all of that, so you can skip that. Maybe you've got all of that and you're comfortable with what data you have, and you can move on to your next step into the inventory. Who's 100% confident that their inventories are correct today? Software. Nobody? You understood the question? Okay. We have some managers here. Okay, because that wasn't an answer the managers wanted to hear. We're not sure our inventories are good. Okay. So once we've inventoried, we need to pick up a recognition. We're going to cover these also in details and show you some things and tools of how we're accomplishing that, but we're going to walk through it. So we discover what we have out there. We do an inventory both on the applications that are picked up as applications and also on raw data. Then we must recognize that. So once we've recognized that, what do we do then? We want to scale back. We want to trim down a bit. We want to rationalize. So we're going to go into a rationalization where we're going to find the overlays of the products, whether it's in features, languages, versions, etc. Once we've done the rationalization, we're going to look at the upcoming OS. We want to see what's happening on the OS. Do I have some collisions there? Am I going to run into some deprecated APIs, some UAC changes, etc.? Yeah, then I want to remediate those. And by best, if I can, this should be an automated process, which we do, and we will show you how that functions. And last but not least, and probably one of the most difficult, is getting that application or those applications integrated into all of that we've done and set up prior to that. Who's doing integration? Anybody specifically doing integration testing? And is it easy, or is it a lot of legwork? It's what? A hell of a job. Yeah, that put it really bluntly. It sure is. And we can help automate that, and we'll get you there. Okay, how is all this looking a bit in depth? Let's go back to the discovery. We have some products, and we're going to mention those, and you can look at them in depth, please, at the booth. We have a RAID inventory that will do your discovery for you. So if you don't have a clear picture, or you're not sure today, what do I have out there, what machines, what devices, we can do a complete network discovery with RAID inventory, either agent or agentless, meaning you don't have to install on machines, etc. You can just scan your network, and you can pick up all the devices that you have out there. Notice I said devices. Okay, we're in that world of devices today. RAID inventory also will pick up your inventory data. Same principles, agent or agentless. Who knows the difference when I'm talking about agentless, what that means? Where's the mic? Who wants to answer? I heard from this side. You don't mind?
I think WMI, inventory via WMI, without an agent.
Okay, that's some technology we use for the inventory, but I'm looking for the difference between agent and agentless. and why that plays a big role. Somebody? Anybody? Nobody? Well-motivated crowd today. Wow, I love it. Come on, guys, wake up a bit. Who do we got? Yes, sir.
Well, a couple of practical points is a lot of packages have agents where you have them pile up over time and end up with systems which run like 10 agents at a time, which all need to be updated, and where you just end up in a state of maintenance of your agents. And on the side note, you stick with security issues and vulnerabilities in these agents.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you. Give that man something. We got another one back there?
Yeah, this way.
I was actually going to say the same thing. So everybody would prefer agentless installations, because then you won't have to adjust your running machine. So.
Yeah. That's a big part. That's certainly, okay, that's good. So a couple other things around the inventory, and this is a big one for you guys out there using VMware, ESX. We can inventory your VM machines even when they're not running. We'll mount literally the ESX and we'll pull all that data out. Also the Oracle. Yeah, recognition. If you recall, I said on the inventory, we have two categories of inventory. We're going to pull out the applications, like the gentleman said, with WMI technology, et cetera, but we're going to pick up all the raw data as well. And we're going to bring the raw data back, and we're going to run it through our automated recognition and match it back to applications, excluding what we already found as being an application. So at the end, what do I get? I get two lists. I have a list of applications that was found and recognized, and I have a list that were found through evidences, DNA printing, and I've matched it back to an application. So I'm getting a complete look of what software I have out there. Yeah, rationalization. So no matter where you find yourself in these 7 steps, maybe you're saying, okay, I have a good inventory. I know all the machines that I have out there. I don't need to do all of that. But why should you not want to rationalize? If you're going to go into a migration now, under what reason would you not say, okay, I think I want to rationalize. I want to take a look and get rid of multiple versions, take a look at languages. Maybe I've got the same application in a multiple user interface that I'm carrying in English, Dutch, whatever it might be. And then the big one, and this is where we see the most results around the rationalization, is when we look at the feature sets, where we analyze the actual functionality of the applications, what they're supposed to do, and see where there's a cross there. And especially in large organizations with cross borders. We have any cross-border companies here? Okay. So you know what I'm talking about. And are you centralized or decentralized?
What, for management?
Yeah.
Centralized.
Centralized. Okay, so there maybe you can get a good visibility then and start to rationalize in that aspect. Yeah, then we want to move on from the rationalization, and we want to look at our collisions. Idea behind the collisions, and here we've got a really well product, RAID QC Advanced, that you definitely should take a look at, because we're doing collision a different way than what some of the competitors in the past, Wise had used to do with what they called conflict management, admin studio, etc. We're approaching this in a different manner. We're looking at basic rules against OSs, meaning have junction points changed from the last operating system? Has the UAC changed? Am I having to deal with null sessions now, et cetera, et cetera? Plus, we're going a step further. We're going to bring your snapshot in to our library, and we're going to run that snapshot of your operating system, meaning your Windows 10 that you've imported, or whatever the future operating system may be, or maybe you're still in the middle of going to 8.1, the rules still apply, and we're going to match that and see where there the possible collisions are. And obviously, after we've done the collision testing, then we're going to go into the remediation side. So what we find during the collision testing on your golden image, on your, maybe even your own rule sets on virtualization aspects, whatever we've tested, we're going to remediate where it's possibly to be remediated. And we're going to show you this also. I'm not going to kill you too much with slides. I want to get through those so we can get into the live demo, so you guys can actually see the product. Yeah, and at the end, we're going to systematically check against the OS. If everything's fine there and has been remediated, now we want to run that application, that target application, against a set of predefined applications to make sure that I can integrate into those. At the same time, I have the results coming out of the OS collision. So you see, we're systematically going through this. We're going to make sure that we're ready for that new OS. We're going to remediate if needed. And then we're going to go the step further and look at the integration, where I'm sure you guys have at least 3 layers of software being deployed. Deployment people here? How many layers do you have? How many?
Sorry, what you mean?
How many layers of software are you deploying? So you have a basic layer, and on top of that you have... Okay. Okay. So the idea on the integration testing is to get into those layers then, so you're testing groupings of business software against that target application. Questions so far? If there's any questions, just stop me and we'll certainly answer them. Okay? Okay, we've made this easy for you. So let's assume in this scenario, you already have a managed environment and you know what software you have out there, you know what machines you have out there. You don't need to go through all that, but you at least want to step in to that 7-step. So where's the best place to step into our 7-step methodology, where everybody should find themselves, is at least at the beginning you want to check against the OS and then the collisions against the other applications. So we'll leave all of that inventory and the beginning steps out, and we'll begin there. We have a web service that we've provided. Do you have that also, Jürgen? You can show that? Well, we'll show it at the end. Let's work in our local demo right now. So you can log on to our web. We'll post that in a second, the site. And with just a few clicks, you can run your software or multiple packages, and you can run them through our service that we're offering here. So you're actually going to do a lot of this work yourself, but it's not a lot of work because you're going to see the steps we're going to walk through. It's real simple. Once you get into the project, so it's project-based and it's customer-based, meaning once you sign on or you apply for sign-on credentials, you'll get put into a project. That becomes your project. Nobody sees any data that you have, and you can continually log on, go back and see what you've checked, what you haven't checked, and so forth. So it's not a platform that everybody's seeing everybody's data. So once you've gotten the credentials, it's specific to you. So first step up, you'll upload your package. You've already done that? Oh, way too fast for me. Okay. You guys followed him back there? So once you've uploaded the package, it's going to run in the background, and we're going to perform some tasks and steps that we already discussed. You remember we talked about the OS collision, we talked about the integration and so forth, and we're going to get you under the hood also, so we're not just going to stay here. Once we're finished with this, we're going to go down into the products. I know you guys, how many techies here? 1, 2, we're all technical here. I asked earlier if you were managers, and we got maybe 1 hand in the back. So now I ask if you're technical, and I get 2 or 3 hands. Are you here just for the free food and the lunch, or what? Oh, now everybody puts up their hands. Okay, good. Maybe we should cut the meeting short and we run to lunch then, huh? No, you got to listen to all this. This is kind of like that time sharing. Anybody bought time sharing before? No? You know the concept, time sharing? Or you don't understand me? My English so bad? Okay, so it's running in the background. Mark what packages you uploaded for us there, Jürgen, and show us what's going to happen. So this is the real simple thing. This is for the guy that just wants to run his package through the quick test and gets the report out, doesn't have to do a whole lot of work behind it. That's what we've done so far. So let's jump into a report. You already did the check? Okay. Okay, that's a management view, but we want to see a bit more because we are technical, right? You know, managers don't work, technicians work. So who's technicians now? No, I seen a hand in the back, our managing director. We'll keep him in the management category. Okay, so here you get a very quick look, high level, of what the results are. Yes, we stayed with the traffic lights principles, so you see what's red. Red is dead, maybe not though. Yellow and so forth. So if we, are they all through? Okay, we have one that's still running. Let's give it a second to get caught up to us. We're a bit ahead of it. Okay, if not, we'll jump into the report of the Microsoft package. Okay, so on our web site and our web service, you're going to get a quick look at where's your package now, in what state does it find it. Also, if we drill down a bit, you're going to see some of the errors and some of the warnings that has been picked up, and as well, you can see what tests are being performed. Yeah. No, actually, it will scan also legacy, but not through the self-help portal. You're right now in a self-help portal where you can come onto our site and you can do all the work yourself. So yes, there is the second level service of that where we'll create that dirty snapshot and then this process continues. So if you're capable of creating your own snapshot, which I'm sure you well are, then you can use that MSI to run through the self-help here. Okay, so you see some detailed information on what's coming out here. I'm sure to a lot of you this makes sense. Most of us, right? How many creating packages every day? The majority of us, so I'm sure this is all familiar to you. Our other package done now? It's still active, okay. So besides the individual reports, you have here a very quick overview of what packages you've uploaded for testing, with what results. You can see in what state the certain packages are. Here you see also per package, everything's being documented, so you can go in and follow that. Everything that's being done automatic. Remember these names, RayQC Advanced, Raventory, because when you go out to the booth later, you're going to want to ask specifically questions around that, because those are the big tools we're working with, and RayPack also, that will show. So maybe we've caught up now. Yeah. Okay, so now you can see this package is caught up also. Yes, you don't have to do individual packages. We do support bulk operations, but I didn't want to run 100 packages through for this demo. So you could set off 100 packages, go home, and then the next morning you come in, you have this report that's waiting for you. Yeah. Why did this show up as a problem? Packages, anybody? My bag's heavy, I want to get rid of something. Yeah? Right, .NET 2.0 is not delivered with Windows 10. But actually, it wasn't delivered in Windows 8 either, correct? Right? Right? Come on, guys, you got to help a bit. Didn't you have enough boring shit this morning? Wasn't that enough? Huh? you got a chance to be crazy and have fun. The rest of the day is not going to be fun like this, especially after lunch. We're all going to have full stomachs. We do have a lunch, right? Okay, so enough here. Any questions so far? How many packages can they do online free, boss?
Free. Up to free. Free.
Wow, I said boss, and you seen here this pretty madame answered right away, huh? Huh? Okay. I have to remember that one now. Yeah, 3 packages you can run through for free, and then after that, you have to pay. No, account's not a problem because we accept credit cards, we accept cash, we accept blood. You can give blood now. What?
Organs.
Organs. Oh, wow. No? I probably don't want any of my organs, but maybe some of you guys, okay? We'll add that to the list. We'll have to see how we can automate that upload. The blood was okay. Everything else worked. We'll have to check it out and see how that goes on the organs. Okay. Questions here? Otherwise, I want to take a deeper dive into some of the products and get into some of the technical stuff so you guys see what's happening in the background. Because all of this happens automated. And this is really the web version. We've just got it on a local server here. This is what you will see if you get into our website. It's that simple. Does it look like something you can use? For at least the first 3 packages, right? Who's not going to use it for the first 3 packages? So if you, one person, okay? So if we see all these people here, that means our server tonight's going to get a lot of people logging on, right? Okay, so what's happening in the background? RayQC Advanced. And you guys know that we're in a live demo. This isn't a slide set, right? Who of you knows any of the Ray Suite products? Which ones? RayPack, okay. What else? Anybody using the RayQC that was back there? Okay. Okay. So we've got a few there. I just wanted to mention that because people always say, yeah, I thought you weren't going to show slides. But if he scrolls to the top, you'll see he's really in VM. We're not in a PowerPoint. This is how our products look, and they're very simple to use also. So let's take a look at RayQC Advanced and what's happening there. When you uploaded, you basically imported, and I'm going to show you these because you don't have to go onto the website. You can also pay money and buy license for the product and use it. You don't have to go into the website. You can get the products as well and do all of this yourself. So it's not like we're only supplying you with this website. All the products are also available in a standalone version, and they do quite a bit more for you, actually, which may be appealing to you, and that's what I want to walk through. So once we've uploaded, we've literally imported software into your library. Here's where we come into that earlier question about, okay, but what if I don't have MSIs? This is where then it probably behooves you to take a look at the RayQC Advanced. That way you, with RayQC Advanced and the interface to RayPack, remember those names, you can create your own snapshot that will be imported into the library automated, and then you'll have that snapshot. So then you'll have basically that dirty MSI, at least for purposes of going through collision testing, integration testing, so forth. Okay, so have we imported? Okay, we've got also what's not on the website. We have the possibility to scan your own web servers, your own web applications. In 2 levels of that. We can either scan through the sources themselves, looking for certain criteria in the rule set, or you can log on, and we have a crawler, that the crawler that will walk through all the sources, or you log on, and we have a smart monitor running in the back that will monitor what changes are being made, catch all of those, and then do the testing. Anybody using web apps here? You've already went to Chrome and Edge and all that, or you're looking at that? You're looking at it. Okay, you guys seem to be busy here in the front. Nobody on this side of the room? Wait, maybe I run over here and ask, you guys got web apps over here? Oh, that worked. I got 2. Okay. So now I know I've got to ask the question here. Then I'm going to run over here and say, okay, you guys got web apps? You don't have web apps now? You're making my job really hard, guys. It's all good. Okay, so we've imported into the library. All that was automated. Now we're going to do some of these clicks ourselves here. You see here, legacy setups and so forth, so you get a good flavor. I'm not going to read to you what you can see there. So you see what we're covering. Back to your question there. Not on the web service side, but certainly in the product supported. Okay, so let's import a package. And then we'll jump into how the rules are set. Because if you recall, when we logged on to the web service, we didn't have a chance to manipulate any rules or anything. That was all predetermined for us. How many's married here? How many of you are married? Kind of like our wives do for us, they predetermine everything. Not an insult, all in fun. You're married? And does your husband, is he allowed to say anything except for yes? Okay, so that was pretty simple, import. Not a whole lot to say there, but we've got it in the database now. So let's walk through some of the testing. Obviously, wizard-driven. Questions so far? Everybody with me? Yeah. What did I say we test for earlier? I still got a little bit. I want to get rid of something. You remember? What did I say earlier of what we test against? Where? What was it? Collisions. Application collisions, etc. Yeah, that was close enough. This is heavy. You guys are wearing me down. I got to get rid of this weight here. So there you can see the 3 things that we're looking at back here. If you remember, we spoke about the OS, the collisions around the OS, the collisions based on the rule set, based on also your snapshot that you're going to import from your OS, so we're picking those up. Other packages, and obviously virtualization also. So we have a very broad things that we're testing for, and you can select those. If we go into the advanced mode, now you get to have a look also of the rules that are being used behind that. So we've selected that. And this is a lot of stuff that you don't see when you go into just the self-help portal. All of this is already pre-configured for you. Okay, so here we're going to grab our image. So we've actually imported a Windows 10 into our library. So we're not just going to run on a rule set based testing. We're actually going to walk over what you've imported out of the operating system. So we pick up any collisions there, files, folders, registries, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you can see again what we're looking for there. And now you see the rules that are behind the virtualization. And also the readiness check based on the rules set for that operating system. So you can see in the bottom corner what we're supporting today. So believe it or not, we actually in the US, we have quite a few customers that are just moving to 8.1 and they're not going to 10. So this same principle, this same 7 steps, these same products that we're discussing can be used here just as well. Questions? Okay, so we're running our tests. We'll give them a second to catch up here. Does this look familiar to you guys? Anybody doing any similar testing? Anybody doing any similar testing? Okay. But now I got to catch up to you because I asked over there and you answered over here. Everybody's migrated? Needs to do all of this? No? Yes? Okay, so what comes out of this testing now? We're going to take a look at the collisions. That's the first phase. Here you see, okay, we didn't run into any collisions at that aspect, but you still see what on the left side, you can see what tests are being done, and you have a very detailed description of what was being tested. If you remember back to the report that we got from the web version, that's very high level because that's supposed to be very simple and quick, and here's more determined or more set for that technical guy or lady or whatever it might be. You didn't catch it. You guys didn't even catch that. You caught it. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody's following me up here. Virtualization, same thing, same principles. You notice here, custom actions. Why are those being flagged? You never know. But Microsoft told us this morning, trust us, don't worry about it. We don't need the inventory. We don't need to do all these. I don't want to pick on Chris, but I will anyways. Okay, and on the system readiness also, if you look now, we're back to our framework. You remember in the test we done on the web version, we had also those results. So you see we're starting to repeat ourselves, but here we're a bit more in depth there. And there's an interesting one that I think we'll take a look at. Anybody recognize this? Whoa, I see this guy in the front row squinting. If he's squinting, then you guys, boy. Now I see why nobody's following me. Shit, you can't see nothing back here. What's highlighted?
Incomplete rebuild handling.
Wow.
Sorry. I'm sure about the two words.
Well, I'm lucky to see the green up there, so I can't tell you whether you're right or not. Maybe when I get up there, but by the time I get up there, I'll probably have forgotten what he said. So we're just going to believe him. But I see back there, it's really tough to see. What we've picked up is we've got a reboot problem. So what happened, we found here that there's a launch condition, which they all have, but there's no covering for the reboot. They're not making sure that there's a pending reboot not in place, stopping then the installation. So we've done that automated by using the RayQC Advanced, and we're going to show you that. So back into now another product, RayPack, our packaging solution. If we go into RayPack and take a look at the MSI, so I want to first open up the MSI, the original MSI that we imported into the web and also brought into the RayQC. So we have a launch condition. This is the original MSI. This is what was detected. Now what would you have to do if you're a packager? What? Make a transform file, yeah. And set it.
Either you remove it or you set it.
Right. You have to now. You'll have to manually come in and build into the launch condition to check for whether reboots are pending or not. So that could be quite a bit of work. We only pushed one package through, but let's imagine we went overnight and we put a few hundred packages through. These are simple things that we should be doing in an automated way, and we are doing them in an automated way. So if we open up now the transform file that we created, there you see we've built the launch condition automated. So that's saving you a tremendous amount of work. And you had all the reporting coming out of the RayQC Advanced. So if we go back into the RayQC Advanced, Jürgen, and take a look at maybe a bit more in depth of what RayQC Advanced does. So you see here we have all the information in the RayQC Advanced in the reporting, and we're getting all that done in our transform file. So you still have the option now to use that transform file, to not use the transform file, to come in and customize it, to build it out further. But all the things that could have been fixed, fully automated, we have done that here. We have picked those up. Questions?
Yeah, what about the signatures?
What about?
The signatures, you had a number of errors with signatures. You cannot solve that yourself.
Can you pick those up, Jürgen? Yeah, the hooks. But if you go back into the transform file, what did we do there? Guess what we done? We have an autosave. So we've actually put that component to where it would not be installed in this auto fix. Whether that's correct or not, that's up to you on what you determine to be your configurations for the self fixing behind it. Would I recommend doing that with just globally without coming in and checking it? Probably not. But the possibility is certainly there, depending on your own guidelines. Who's seen RayPack? Question.
For instance, here we saw the problem with unsigned DLLs. Also, for instance, for our company, we do not sign DLLs, we sign just executables. So the question is it possible to disable those warnings, those checks, especially if you have to process a huge number of packages, so that you start with those warnings which are not applicable in your case?
So the question is, how far can we go into the configuration? I just summed it up a bit for you. Okay. The rules, you can select all the rule sets yourself. You can determine what fixes will be applied and what fixes won't be applied. And that's why I had said we disabled the component at the component level on the hooks because of the signing. I wouldn't recommend it, but for demo purposes, it was good to see that. So you have the full, okay, Jürgen's going to walk back through this again. So just follow him up there. So here you have all your rule sets. So here's where you can, excuse me, here you can go in and determine what rules you want to be applied and not be applied. And this is a level of configuration that you're not going to get coming from the self-help portal. Because the self-help portal is really set up with those 3 or 4 buttons to make it simple, slim, fast, easy, just get a quick feeling of what's happening, and there's no automated remediation on the self-help portal. Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah.
To what degree is there a possibility to define your own checking rules?
You can configure also your own rules. I don't think, do we have the XML editor? No. There's an XML editor. In RayPack, are you guys going to show that? There's a RayPack event coming up this afternoon. The tool that we had showed the transform and MSI in.
But you said it's going to be boring, so why should they come?
Oh, you guys are coming this afternoon.
Yes.
Oh, I take it back then. It was, they didn't hear me anyways. See, now I'm trying to stand in the middle, and I'm hoping that what I say I get everybody now. Yeah, but no, You guys should be motivated. Look at the time. What are we getting close to? We're getting close to lunch. You got to get motivated. I know you're thinking, damn, will he hurry and shut up? I want to go eat. But the food's not ready till 12:30 anyways. So whether you stand out there and walk around like cattle or you sit in here and listen to me, I guess it doesn't matter, right? You know how cattle walks around? Cattle? What's cattle in Dutch? What is it? Yeah.
They.
That sounded pretty sexy. Be careful on that, man. Yeah. Yeah, I'd work on that one a bit. Okay. Yeah, so I lost my path. I'm sorry. See what he did to me over there? Wow. No. So the configuration is very high, what you can do there. RayPack is this afternoon. There's an XML editor. I'm not sure if they're going to show it, but there is an XML editor that you can bring your own rule sets in, and it's actually pretty simple. It's all based around the MSI functionality, around the tables. So you literally, I mean, you're already thinking ahead. I see this guy here thinking of how simple that can be. It's just about defining, okay, look in what table, what to look for, and what should I expect. You know, so it's pretty straightforward. It's not rocket science. Like VW is made out of building cars, I guess. Everybody's following that one, huh? How could you not follow that? And who's driving VWs? Anybody that is involved has one of this recalls? Nobody that has a recall? We have no potential millionaires sitting here? You know, in the United States, they're already filing lawsuits. The last one I heard on the radio, the woman wants $5 million US now because the car that they recalled, they were able to bring it up to standards, but now it's like 5 miles an hour less in a country where I can only drive 65 anyway. So, okay, now my car that had 300 horsepower, that drives 140 kilometers, that's it. That's, you know, the max that you're going to be allowed to drive in. Or have you been in a state that's even over 72 now? 85. Yeah? What's the limit there? 85, okay. Kilometers or miles per hour? Okay. So now her car doesn't do what she expected it to do, and she wants now $5 million. So I thought maybe we had here some potential millionaires also. No, not in Europe yet. You're not there yet on the lawsuits. Okay. So, RayPack, I think we answered that question. Anything else? Any other questions?
Are you going to support Server 2016?
Yes, we will support it. The question is always when. I see him pointing here. When are we going to support? When are we going to support 2016? Do we have an idea? Okay. You want to repeat it? I didn't hear it.
In 2015, 16.
End of 2015? Ah, you're pointing at the product manager. I'm sorry. I thought you were pointing at the screen. Okay. So, product manager, 2016, when?
Yeah, well, we're watching the preview.
Yeah, well, did you hear that answer? Yeah, well. That's the first ones. Okay.
Okay. No, we're watching the previews, of course, and as soon as 2016 is officially on the market, we're going to go live with that as well.
Okay, so we're already working. Here, come on.
Yes. Yes, of course, we're working on it. We're watching it, we're trying it. Of course.
Okay. So in a close time period between the official release, we'll have it out. We'll have it out there. And if you're in our beta program, anybody here in any beta programs from Ray Suite? you'll have it then, yeah, quite ahead of time. You can help us find all the bugs. Okay. So what do we look at today? We looked at our 7-step methodology for your next migration. Like I said, an important thing to remember is, where do you find yourself in that entire process? Where are your needs at? Do I have my machines? Okay, I don't need discovery. Do I know what software's out there? Do I know my DNA prints of what's out there? Okay, maybe I don't need the inventory then. Do I need any kind of recognition? Maybe I don't need that because I know of what's out there. Rationalization. Why would I not, unless I have such a very, what's the wording I'm looking for, a small number of applications, or they're so visible that I can be 100% sure that I have no redundancy, in features and functionality, in versions, in languages, in blah, 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 etc. Maybe I don't need to do rationalization, but it's an automated step, so, okay, why wouldn't I want to do it? Maybe I am just interested in jumping in to test the OS against collisions based on our rule set, based on your image that you've imported into the database with all your little fine tunings and settings and your golden image and all of that. But we won't do that anymore. What did he say this morning? We're going to stay standard now, right?
So Windows 10 will be updated continuously. So what's the time when your product will be ready to support all those new features that will come continuously? It's not just a service pack anymore. They will add features all the time. So what's the time until your product is up to the newest features?
So the question is how often do we update and get in line with the new features, etc. Very quick. Because we're being a Microsoft partner, I had fun with Chris and stuff, but it's all in fun. Being a partner of theirs, we're already developing with them. So even before things are coming out, we're already on board with it. So within a really short time, we're going to be getting those out to you. So I can't put days on it, but it's a very short time. It's not going to be that. We're not going to start posting fixes or information now for Windows 7, which is really old. Okay, so we'll be in line there. Okay, so yeah, maybe all you want to do is the collision around the OSs. Maybe you say, okay, I have a standard image. Yeah, I don't want to take the time. I don't want to do the collision detection around the OS, but for sure I want to take and look at the application towards other applications, towards the OS. Or at the very end, I say, okay, maybe I don't need that. But what I certainly want to do is I want to automate my integration testing, meaning I define my set of base applications, and every application that comes in gets tested against that base application. So the question normally comes, okay, but how does that work with the base applications? How do you get that base application built? Well, go back to the question, did the chicken come first or the egg? It's real simple around that. The first application that you get, let's back up to this process to where you start with nothing, and I'll explain how you get to your base application or set of base applications. You have the OS. The very first application that comes in, you're going to test it against the OS, against the rule set, deprecated APIs, blah, 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 and against, for you technical people, against your golden snapshot that you've imported. It's fine, or it needs remediation, but you can fix it. It doesn't matter. So guess what? This application is the first one, the very first one. And let's say if you're thinking ahead, this is one that you're going to define as a base application, an Acrobat, an antivirus, maybe an Office. I don't know how your layers are set up. So there's the first application, and you just repeat that process. And now you have your first layer of software built, and you've went through the normal step and the methodology behind it. So that next application that comes in, the same thing. You check it against the OS. Why? If it won't function in my OS, then I don't need to worry about whether it's going to work with the other applications because it's not getting there. If it works with the OS, now I test it against that first app. Now I have 2 applications there. So the next third application comes in, OS, and my last bag. What do I test that third application against now after I've tested it on the OS and it's fine? How many?
2.
There you go, the other 2. So no matter where you're going to find yourself in our 7-step methodology, you can find an entry point. It's just you've got to decide where does it make sense for me? Where do I want to get involved in this process? Or maybe you don't want to get involved and you just want to go to lunch. Yeah, any questions? I won't bite you. I put the whip and the axe away.
Does the software inventory also scan FV packages on a local machine with the agentless client? Agentless scan?
Yes. AppV and ThinApp. If I recall,
Can you repeat the question?
oh, I'm sorry. He asked if the agentless solution will pick up AppV packages, and the answer is yes, it will. Actually, it picks up any virtualization unless it's being hidden from the OS. If it's hidden from the OS, then we won't see it either.
FV 4.6. FV5 is structure under the Windows folder,
Mm-hmm.
but FV4 is a dedicated drive which is hidden from the OS.
But we'll still pick it up. We'll still pick it up. There's definitely really technical, but there's some, obviously there's some restrictions around that which we can't change. SWV, you know how SWV functions. If that's completely masked, then I know the gentleman back there knows SWV well, then obviously we won't pick it up either if it's being hidden in that manner. But in general, yes, we're picking up most everything. Okay, Jürgen? Push us through to the last slide, I think. And yeah, you remember at the very beginning I said I would post where you can go get your logon credentials and start uploading your mass packages tonight. So I know everybody's going to upload 3 packages, then they're going to get registration data with their wife's name, their daughter, their sister, their neighbor, everybody. So if you do that, you can get your 300 packages through. It may just take you 100 times to do it, but you can get them through. I was just giving you a hint of how you could do that, but okay. And last slide with the session number. The session number, or is it in the beginning? There you go. Okay, if that's it, then we're on time. Lunch will be ready in an hour. No, in a few minutes. Thanks, everybody.